UFC 273 was a stacked card that featured 2 title bouts as well as several other notable fights. So, for this video, we've decided to do a brief recap of the event and go over the results of some of the main fights on the card. As always, if you guys enjoy the video, please be sure to let me know by leaving a like and subscribing to our channel. Now, without further ado, let's take a look at what happened at UFC 273. First, we'll be covering the third fight on the main card, which saw rising welterweight Khamzat Chimaev taking on the number 2 ranked Gilbert Burns. Heading into the fight, Chimaev was 4-0 in the UFC with an overall record of 10-0. On top of that, he had only been hit twice inside the octagon and had thoroughly dominated all of his opponents. Given his perfect overall record and his 100% finish rate, there was a lot of hype surrounding Chimaev heading into UFC 273. On the other hand, Burns entered the contest having won 7 of his last 8 fights, with his latest victory coming against Stephen Thompson in July of last year. His only blemish during this time came in the form of a TKO loss to welterweight champion Kamaru Usman. Surprisingly, despite being a UFC veteran with far more experience, Burns entered the match as a sizable betting underdog. Still, Gilbert Burns was undoubtedly Chimaev's biggest test to date. Chimaev started off strong and even secured a brief takedown on Burns in the opening minute. However, Burns was able to quickly get back up, where the two began trading on the feet. While both men were landing solid shots throughout the round, Chimaev was able to connect with a stiff jab in the final minute that dropped Burns to the mat. Luckily for Burns, he was able to survive and pick up the momentum in round 2, landing several heavy hooks and big overhands. The third and final round saw more heated exchanges between the two, with each of them wobbling the other. In the end, the two delivered an action-packed contest that will definitely go down as one of the best fights of the year. However, Chimaev would remain undefeated and walk away with a close decision win.
Give us your thoughts on how it went.
Tough guy, brother. I didn't know he was so tough. But the guy come up with Brazil hard, you know. Thank you for this fight, Gilbert. I love you, brother. All respect.
Next, we'll be taking a look at the co-main event, which featured a highly anticipated rematch between interim bantamweight champion Petr and the undisputed champion Aljamain Sterling. In truth, the word undisputed was a somewhat controversial label, given that Sterling won the title via disqualification in March of 2021, after Petr landed an illegal knee that forced the end of the bout. Prior to the stoppage, Jan appeared to be winning the fight and looked well on his way to retaining his title. Following the result, Sterling found himself sidelined for quite some time with a neck injury, while Jan returned in October of 2021, defeating Corey Sandhagen to claim the interim belt. Given their history, there was plenty of tension between the two in the lead-up to their second meeting. The first round was a bit of a feeling-out process, with Jan stalking his opponent while Sterling landed some kicks from a distance. However, the second and third rounds were far more eventful, with Sterling taking Jan down and securing his back, making several submission attempts while wearing him down with his ground control. In the fourth round, Jan came out aggressively, throwing hard shots at Sterling and backing him up against the cage. While Sterling briefly took Jan's back once again, he quickly lost the position, with Jan ending up on top and controlling Sterling to the end of the round. The two appeared to be neck and neck heading into the fifth and final round. Although Sterling attempted to get the fight to the ground once again, Jan was able to out-wrestle Sterling and even take his back in the final minute, though it ultimately went the distance. The fight was razor close and far more competitive than the first. However, the judges scored the fight in favor of Sterling, awarding him a split decision victory.
I know I came in here very highly doubted. People wrote me off after my last performance, but I told you guys that was a big hiccup. I had a tough opponent in Petr. He's dangerous. He brings it every single time. And man, he brought the best of me. He beat me in that 4th and 5th round, but this is what the fight game is all about.
Lastly, we'll be going over the main event, which featured reigning featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski looking to defend his title for a third time against the Korean zombie Chan Sung Jung. Originally, Alexander Volkanovski was scheduled to face Max Holloway for a trilogy bout in March. However, when Holloway was forced to pull out due to injury, Chan Sung Jung stepped in to serve as a replacement and was even given an extra month to prepare. While it was admirable for the Korean zombie to step up on short notice, the odds weren't exactly in his favor. After all, Alexander Volkanovski was an established champion who hadn't lost in nearly a decade, while Chan Sung Jung had gone 4-3 in his last 7 fights. Given these factors, Volkanovski entered the match as a massive betting favorite. Unfortunately for the Korean zombie, the fight resulted in a one-sided mauling from the champion. The first 3 rounds saw Volkanovski put the pressure on his opponent, dropping him on numerous occasions and taking him down repeatedly. While Chan Sung Jung put up a valiant effort and had a few good moments, Volkanovski was just too much to handle. After landing a few hard shots that rocked the zombie in the 4th, Herb Dean put a stop to the contest, awarding Volkanovski a TKO victory.
Mate, I told you, before this fight all week, I said I'm on another level right now. I can't be stopped, and I just showed you. He actually took a lot more than I wanted him to. I thought that they could have stopped it a bit earlier. I started feeling bad in there, but that's the sport we're in.
So, that concludes our brief recap of UFC 273. As always, if you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to let me know by leaving a like and subscribing to our channel. Apart from that, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.